My Week 10 picks here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, college football. It's amazing. We say it every year. It goes by so fast, and we are already in the final stretch. Let's talk about my picks for the week. Make my picks against the spread and straight up. We'll start in the Pac-12. Oregon. This is an interesting game. This is a game where I'm going to fall for the trap, if you will. I can kind of see Vegas trying to, someone there knows more than I do, certainly. My heart wants to go Oregon, and I'm going to go Oregon. But, man, this is kind of a tricky line. Oregon favored by just 6.5 on the road at the Washington Huskies, but I will go with the Ducks. A&M, that's Texas A&M taking on Auburn. A&M favored by 3.5. I will take the Aggies to cover and win that game straight up. Michigan State, Purdue. This is a game I would not be shocked to see Purdue win straight up. I will take Michigan State, and I'll take them against the 2.5 points. I think they win this game straight up, and they cover. I think it's going to be a close game. I would not be shocked to see Purdue win this game. Again, just given what Braum can do offensively, his game planning, and certainly this could be a trap game for a Michigan State team coming off a big-time win against Michigan. Iowa State in need of a victory after losing to West Virginia. They'll take on the Texas Longhorns right here in Ames. I've got Iowa State winning, but Texas covering the 6.5. Tennessee and Kentucky. Kentucky favored by 1.5. I'll take Mark Stoops and the Wildcats to win and to cover. Oklahoma State taking on West Virginia. The Cowboys and the Mountaineers have both had their hands at Iowa State these past 2 weeks, and Oklahoma State losing, West Virginia winning. I still like the Cowboys. They're a more complete team. It is on the road at Morgantown, but I will take Oklahoma State to win this game straight up and to cover the spread. Arkansas and Mississippi State. I'm going the upset here. Mississippi State not only covers the 5.5, as they are 5.5-point underdogs, not only do they cover, they win. Straight up, Mississippi State wins. Ohio State taking on Nebraska. I've got Ohio State. Maybe I'm falling for the trickeration of Vegas again here, but I like the Buckeyes to cover. They're 14.5-point favorites. They win straight up, and they take care of business. I think Nebraska certainly is going to be a challenge for everybody down the stretch. But I think Ohio State's just got too much firepower offensively. Nebraska's defense is not going to be able to handle the Buckeyes. Illinois and Minnesota went back and forth on this one. Minnesota favored by 14.5. I've got too much faith in Brett Bielema. I mean, look what he did against Penn State. Look what he did against Nebraska week 0. I know they've had their rough patches. It's kind of been a seesaw here, and what can you expect in year 1? But I like Illinois to cover. They're 14.5-point underdogs on the road at Minnesota, but I like Illinois to cover. Minnesota wins, though. Wake Forest taking on UNC. That's North Carolina on the road, and UNC is the favorite, 2.5-point favorites, but I like Wake Forest to win and to cover. Michigan taking on Indiana. Indiana, the 20.5-point underdogs. They are dead last in the Eastern Division. Unbelievable. We talked about them week 1, that big-time matchup with Iowa, and boy, that game is not really going to be much of a resume-building win for Iowa as we get down into bowl season. Hopefully Iowa has a chance at a New Year's Six Bowl. Still a lot to be determined there, but I like Michigan to win. I like IU to cover. 20.5 is a big number for a team that I know they're down Penix, but Tuttle has proven he can at least be capable. I like Indiana to cover. Let's take a look at the other Big Ten games this week. We talked about Ohio State, Nebraska, Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan State, Purdue. How about Wisconsin taking on Rutgers? Certainly, for an Iowa fan, you're rooting huge for Rutgers. I don't think the Fighting Greg Schianos can pull this game off, but I will say this. When you look at this game, there are storylines in this game, and I think one of the major storylines being how does Wisconsin continue to win football games without an adequate passing game. Now, they proved last week against Iowa that they can throw when needed, but Iowa got no pass rush. Now, I'm not sure that Rutgers is going to get much of a pass rush this week, but certainly Iowa had no pass rush in that game. I still think Mertz can single-handedly basically hand a game over to the opposing team. With that being said, I like Wisconsin to win this game, but again, if you're an Iowa fan, you're rooting big time for the Scarlet Knights, and right now, The favorite is, of course, Wisconsin. I'm trying to grab the line here. They are 13-point favorites. Another low over-under. It's 37.5. I like Wisconsin to win, Rutgers to cover. Would not be surprised to see this be a single-digit win for Wisconsin, and maybe the Scarlet Knights have a chance heading into the fourth quarter. That game will be at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, BTN. By the way, Ohio State, Nebraska, 11 a.m. Central Time, ESPN2. Illinois, Minnesota, 11 a.m. on Fox, part of Big Noon. And then, of course, Michigan State, Purdue at 2:30 on ABC. Penn State taking on Maryland, 2:30 game on FS1. Penn State favored by 10.5. Maryland, another team that's kind of fallen off ever since they lost to Iowa. I like Penn State to win and to cover the 10.5. And finally, by the way, I want to throw in one more. This is a night game, Fox, Indiana, Michigan. We didn't give you the TV time for that. 6:30 p.m. Central Time, Indiana, Michigan. It's a long day. We still got a post-game show later tonight here on this channel for Iowa basketball, their exhibition tonight. But Indiana, Michigan, Fox, 6:30 p.m. Saturday night. Iowa, Northwestern, the final game in our docket for the day, for the week. Iowa's certainly in need of a big-time victory. Iowa's going to cover. I mean, right now, I believe the spread is, 11, and is it 12 now? I'm seeing 11.5. I think it's gone up to 12. But I like Iowa against either of those numbers. If Iowa wins if Northwestern covers, we got some serious issues. Now, I think we already have some serious issues. We've talked about that on the podcast and with Don Patterson. But Iowa needs to win this game by a lot, and I'm going to predict Iowa wins it by 16 points. Final score being 28-12. I could see, Northwestern missing a couple extra points, or probably more than likely. That's probably less likely than, say, a touchdown, a field goal, and a safety. But certainly Iowa is going to have to figure out a way to put some points on the board. This Northwestern defense is improving. Now, they have also been dominating some games. I mean, you look at what the Rutgers win was a good win for them because Northwestern's not beating anybody. But, I mean, they got just destroyed against Michigan State, destroyed against Michigan. Basically, anytime Northwestern's played a decent team, they've gotten beat soundly. So this is a game Iowa should win by. They should cover here, and I'd love to see a 20 to 30 point win. And I really won't be happy unless I see a 20 to 30 point win. But again, I will take Iowa to cover. Boy, you lose this game, the wheels are off. Okay, the wheels are off. But I like Iowa to take down Northwestern at what is it? I can't even think of the. What's the field? What's the crappy field over there in Chicago? Is it Ryan Field? Is it Ryan Field? Whatever it is. Over there in Evanston on the Lakes. Actually, the facilities over there are actually pretty nice, everything I've heard. I've never been to... It's one of the weird things. I actually don't live that far from Chicago. Hours, I should say. And yet I've never been over there. Don't really have much of an interest in going over there either. So I guess that's a thing. But Iowa should be able to take care of business. And again, one loss for Wisconsin means Iowa is back in the hunt for the West Division. Thank you for joining us. Week 10, our Week 10 picks here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We'll talk to you soon, of course, over at the Iowa at the Voice of College Football channel following Iowa Northwestern for our live post-game show with former Iowa assistant Don Patterson. And tonight, right here on this channel, a live post-game show where we'll be announcing our post-game analyst for every Iowa men's basketball game throughout the season. Big announcement coming tonight after Iowa's Slippery Rock. So join us this evening at 9 p.m. Central Time here at From the Hawkeye of the Storm.